Welcome to Open Tech Talks.tv. Let's welcome Lirone Glikman to our today's episode. Welcome, Lirone, to the show.
Hi, Kashif. Very happy to be here today. How are you?
I'm doing very good. Thank you so much for joining. The most important question for anyone who is listening to us, maybe they know me because I'm long enough in this podcast. So who is Lirone? Where is she based? What she's doing? That maybe will give us a head start for our conversation.
All right. So I am a dreamer and a doer. And I think people who dream and do are the most dangerous type of people because you really follow up, not on everything, obviously, but on what you wish for yourself and for other people. And as you can see, I am a smiling person, meaning that I am connecting with people. I was always a good connector. But at a younger age, I wasn't connecting well. I didn't really know how to make this hi Kashif, nice to meet you into one, a trusted friendship. Secondly, to create a memorable friendship. Thirdly, to make you want to help me and make me want to help you fulfill ourselves. And with that realization, I had a global traveling, moved by myself to different places around the world. And I realized that I developed the skill of how to get results in my life through relationship building. And the reason I share it is because my life work actually in the past 20 years was in the first decade was how to learn how to build my brand and create relationships that will achieve for me and for others results. And I developed a methodology. And in the other decade, I've actually been teaching it in 27 countries, how to achieve goals for relationship building, how to build a brand, how to support us build our business. And so that's what I've been doing. I've been helping professionals and startup founders from all over the world to do it. And as I just told you, recently I published this bestseller, The Super Connector, the playbook. It's an Amazon bestseller, which has my methodology that I've been teaching in the past decade. And basically my goal is to help people achieve their goals through relationship building.
That's wonderful that your goal is for people to achieve their goals. What could be
They
better than
say
that
if you help people, you're happy. So, I took it as a life mission.
All right. So now let's relate to the social media, then AI, and our connections move to the online, and we more started connecting online. So, and now your focus is on connecting people to have a relationship. So how the transition is happening over the last 10, 15 years, and then what do you see in the future coming up?
So, first of all, I think some of us, and it also depends on generation, maybe Gen Z are more into connecting online or through text messages or, social media with emojis, as little words as possible. Whereas maybe an older generation would prefer to write more, to communicate face to face. So I definitely see this gap. Even, I just came back from a book tour in Asia, in Thailand and Vietnam. And it's amazing how business cards are so, present there. People want to hold you. They want to feel you. It's a representation of you. Whereas in Europe, it's like, just connect me on WhatsApp or LinkedIn. I mean, who needs those stuff, those like tangible stuff? So I see this, first of all, generation difference in how we communicate. And with AI, it seems like we're going to communicate, I think I don't know if more efficiently in terms of communication and what we say, but we will be able to use it. We are already using, let's say, all LLMs and chat GPTs to communicate maybe more sharply. I can right now use it to communicate with you in any language on earth, for example.
Right.
And I can just tell it, hey, just write Kashif that I will be late. And then he'd craft me like a very long email to tell you that I will be late. So, I mean, I think if we'll use the AI right, we will be able to express ourselves. I guess I want to express ourselves better and stronger through AI if we use it right.
Okay. Now, maybe you said if you use it right. While I think you were just before we start this show, you were mentioning that you're working with startups, founders, and so many areas. So then how do you see what are the typical challenges these founders have from a relationship building or maybe reaching out to, and that it's not only relationship, maybe it can relate to presenting themselves, right? So because if they're presenting themselves, it's mean they're presenting their idea, their product, or maybe it can be a pitch in the form of. So what are the top challenges you see? And then maybe subsequent question will be that, okay, is there any tips to improve that?
Definitely. I'll try to be as practical as I can. So, I mean, there are a lot of challenges. If you're looking at startups and business owners, there is usually the question, the big question, what's more important, the product or the marketing? And it's a big philosophical question. And I would also love to know what you think about it, because eventually it's like, product. If you don't have product, you cannot create a company. You have no reason for existence. But if you don't market, then you won't be able to materialize on this product and help other people. And since I'm coming from the marketing and communication aspect, then obviously we need a product. But I see that many founders and many business owners, they start from being more, the product is their strength. And then it's
Uh-huh.
harder for them on the one hand to make the shift to the marketing, and on the other
Right.
hand, we are not taught at school how to present ourselves, how to market
Uh-huh.
ourselves, how to network, how to build a brand. And that being the most important and the most differentiating skill. And it's bugs me that we don't get to, nobody teaches that to us at
Uh-huh.
university. And that's where the main challenge, because as you just mentioned, as a founder, I need to know how to create my story, which is different than my colleague's story and even different than my co-founder's sometimes
True.
story. And I need to know how to adjust the story if I'm talking to an investor, or if I'm talking to
Uh-huh.
a client, or if I'm talking to someone who can connect me to a client. Then we really need to know how to use this information and be more fluid to adjust it, to stay congruent and stay authentic and real, but how to present it to appeal to the other side. So, I mean, these nuances that I've just mentioned are something that it's missing for many of them. And
Uh-huh.
another thing I see, which is, I think, the root of all issues when it comes to achieving goals through connecting with people, is the fear that we all have. Do you know what the percentage by an American research, the percent, do you know what the percentage of people who have some kind of social anxiety in America, at least?
Could be a big number.
You say about 50, you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So based on this magazine, the research that was done in America, 90%
My.
of people have some type of social anxiety on the scale. It could be from shyness to maybe feeling uncomfortable in certain situation, like if they're talking to an authority, or if they're talking to a group of people, or if it's a board meeting. So when I heard this data, I felt so comfortable, because I said, oh my God, it just normalized it, right? So it means that I feel uncomfortable, this guy feel uncomfortable, this manager feel uncomfortable, and thank God. But that reason is why many people don't find it challenging to create relationship, because they say, hey, maybe they would not want to help me. Maybe I will say something stupid. Maybe I'll embarrass myself. So that's the other thing. So one, we're not being taught how to do it and the nuances.
Right.
Second is we have an inherent fear of rejection. Let's say it as it is. And the third one is more technical and also authentic, is how to maintain relationship. I always say that working, like maintaining relationship is the working in the word networking. This is how we need to know how to maintain relationship, not with
Uh,
everyone, with the
uh-huh.
relevant people in an authentic way and efficient way. And that's also what I'm explaining and sharing in my book. There is a 6 pillars methodology, the human factor method, that I've been teaching around the world. And the fifth out of the 6 pillars is actually how to maintain relationship, because this is definitely one of the biggest challenges. So, and in terms of tips, let's go back to the nuances. Then I would really recommend start reading
Uh-huh.
books, start looking at different videos online, YouTube, Instagram, my my information. Really start
Uh-huh.
embracing the knowledge of how to build relationship, how to break the ice, how to build rapport. That's one thing. Second thing about the fear is really to understand that your goal is important. Like, you have to go beyond the fear, and also remember that our body is wired to
Uh-huh.
build relationship. Like, the human race uh, thrive because of relationship. And the
Uh-huh.
best thing is to remember that once we communicate with a person, after about split second, if
Uh-huh.
we are engaging in a conversation, then usually both of us have oxytocin hormone bursts in both
Right.
people if the conversation is nice and smiley and comfortable. And the oxytocin make both of us feel comfortable, a bit trust, and a bit more nicer with one another,
Uh,
meaning that our biology help us connect. So
right.
remember that to overcome fear. And in order to maintain relationship, and that will be my last tip in this 3 versions, challenges, is First of all, what I like to do is really connect with people online. And as I share information on LinkedIn, on Instagram, I'm sure the majority of people see me. But I usually have a list of up to 90 people. And this
Mm-hmm.
method called the 90 list, and it's by an American specialist also shared this. So he said basically to create a list of up to 90 people, 30, 40, 90, and every
Okay.
day make about 5 minutes in your calendar. We can all do that, right? And
Mm-hmm.
connect with this person. Either send them a personal message,
That's good.
compliment about the latest article they posted, maybe ask to connect them with someone, maybe send them an article. Actively share an authentic message. Now it's being strategic and authentic. Strategic
Mm.
because I just opened up my Excel sheet and I saw Kashif and I said, okay, today I want to send him a message because I want to be on top of his mind. And the authentic way is how I send the message. And if I do it for 2, 3 months in a row, you might remember me because out of nowhere, I came with a very nice gesture. And then after a while, if I'll ask you for something, you might want to help me more
Right.
than if I was just appearing out of nowhere.
That's wonderful. I loved it. 90
Michael
numbers.
Port, that's the name of the American marketer that coined this method.
Okay. So now, maybe before moving to the further, I want to bring back our discussions to where we talk about creating a real advantage in the generative AI and AI. And you also, in your Super Connectors playbook, which you write, when we say this human connection, so how do you define it? And in this hyperscale connected AI buzzword and everything word, you can
I
say
love
is
your
world we
question
are going through.
because, I just finished a call with someone who said that she's going to have a course. She's going to take a course on different AI tool, and she has a course on Gemini, on the latest features on Gemini by Google. Today, Gemini has they have updates every few weeks. I mean, we really need to try and keep up with technology, and that brings me to how I see human connection today. I see that technology is now day and age is accelerating in its advancement and evolving. It's evolving all the time. We can't even keep up with the pace. And while technology is so fastly evolving, the human brain stays the same for like thousands of years. So what I'm saying is that the gap is actually became wider. And with that in mind, we need to, first of all, try to keep up with what is relevant for us. Again, there's so many solutions out there. So try to be very intentional in what serves you and your needs. But on the other hand, it's really about maintaining and understanding what do we need. Most people want to be acknowledged, want to be respected, want to be heard, want to feel loved and belong. And these needs will not going to change. So with that in mind, I am thriving to teach and see how we can use AI tools to enhance this human connection, because all the predictions are showing that as technology accelerates, we would like to maintain this emotion, because at the moment, AI doesn't have emotion. It might have at some point, but
Mm-hmm.
what makes us unique as people is emotion. And if I will connect with you in an honest way, authentic way, emotional
True.
way, that will create a stronger bond that any AI could
Mm.
do. But I can use AI to help me do it. I can put your LinkedIn, Kashif, and ask about you and put it in an AI chat, let's say ChatGPT chat, and tell him, from what you know about myself, and please analyze Kashif's communication style from what you see
Mm-hmm.
about him, and tell him what would be the best way to communicate with him so we can honestly and authentically connect. Also,
Right.
with how to send him a follow-up thank you message for having me on his show. So we can and we should use the AI tools to connect better with people.
Amazing. Now, maybe as you said, with the studies, stats, and all that, and what we have seen, introverts personalities, right? And this is their biggest challenge. So, any recipe for them?
For introverted, I love introverted people. Let me ask you a question before I answer. Who do you think gain more results in their career, the introverted or the extroverted?
See, I'm an introvert person. Okay. And this show was also started doing it to pushing me to go beyond that. And that's what one of the reason was that I started maybe 5, 6 years back. And I'm
Yeah.
doing it without any like commercial motive behind it, but just to keep practicing it, improving it day by day. So I can relate to a lot of my colleagues, friends, right? So they're quiet, they're in their own zone, but when you interact with them, when you talk to them, when there is some subjects, they share with you such a wonderful piece of advice or maybe tip, it will be amazed. That's how I see it.
I love what you're sharing. So I'll tell you how I see it.
Mhm.
I see, if we put it on a scale right now,
Mhm.
introverted on one hand, extroverted on the other hand, and in the middle there are the ambivert. There are people who
Mhm.
are somewhere in the middle. Now, I think many extroverted people will tell you that they're also sometimes less extroverted. I mean, I'm a very, I would say, lively person. I'm
Lively.
very
Mhm.
passionate, and I'm more into the extroverted side. But I also have an introverted moment.
Mhm.
But I do think that from research and what I see, usually society tags
Mhm.
extroverted people as the heart of the party. They
Right.
come, everybody sees them, everybody wants to be like them. They make, they make the energy flow. They
Right.
connect with people, they make things going. And maybe because of them, a lot of things are happening in business and social life. And they're they take people with them. But on the other hand, connecting to what you just said, introverted, usually one of the biggest strengths is they are observing, they're analyzing the situation, they're taking in information. And what they do best usually is asking questions and listening. And when you listen to someone, basically make them feel good about themselves. Because again, humans, we want people to listen to us. We want people to acknowledge us. We want people to respect us. And that's exactly what introverted are doing when they're listening and they're asking questions. And when they nod, and actually research show that if you nod your head about 3 times, the other side will speak 30% more because you make them feel so good about themselves. So essentially what I'm saying is that introverted, when they listen, when they give the gift of listening
Mhm.
to other people, of finding interest in others, they
Mhm.
become interesting.
Mhm.
And many
Mhm.
times, and I had countless of meetings where I was just
Mhm.
listening and listening, and people said, "Oh, I'm,
Mhm.
I'm always talking," but I was really, really interested. It's not
Hmm.
fake at all. I have to say, it's not fake.
Right.
But when you listen to people, they connect with you more. Then, personally, I think that listening is much stronger than being the heart of the party. But we need both eventually.
Okay. So now maybe, I mean, as I work in a corporate world, right, and as an employee,
Mhm.
and you must be, and you said as you're working with startups and all that. So maybe what is the biggest mistake entrepreneurs or employees make when it comes to their personal brand? And that will be including me, myself. So that's
Yeah.
asking on my behalf that, okay, what should I be doing it?
So let me just share. I also work with corporate. I work with startups on their personal brand, on their founder-led branding, but I give workshops and training for corporate, and I work with managers and Nasdaq traded companies to build their brand. Brand is needed whether you're just a beginner employee in a corporate, if you're a mid manager, or even if you're a C-level corporate, and also if you're a founder. Because our brand is basically our premise of what are we going to get when we engage with X. So for example, when people engage with me because I'm consistent, the brand is about consistency. So usually people see that I'm traveling a lot. I'm usually smiling with high energy. I'm usually very positive. And since every time they communicate with me, they see I either travel, I'm positive, I'm smiling. This is my brand. They feel comfortable next to me. I'm elevating their energy. This is my promise to them. And with that in mind, I always ask when I run workshops or one-on-ones on brand. First of all, there are two parts. First of all is
Okay.
understanding what is in me, what's in my authentic self I would like to put out there a bit more, and is it really comes across? And the other one is how do I communicate it online, face to face, and through written communication. And the tip that you asked me is first of all to really ask ourselves. We usually don't ask ourselves those questions, but ask ourselves, what are the main messages? What do I want people to think about me in the company? That's not from a gossip way, because
Mhm,
each and every one of us can design how
mhm,
people see us. And it started with
mhm,
asking them, what do I want people to know about me? Do I want
mhm,
them to know that I'm a problem solver, that I'm a leader, that I'm a people person? So
mhm,
what do I want them to know about me? That I'm so just love what I do.
mhm,
And then it's about what are the values and the strengths that I want
mhm,
to put out there. And I'll give you
mhm,
an example. I gave a workshop for a big organization 2 years ago, and a guy, I asked him, what are your biggest two strengths? And he
mhm,
said, one of them is that I have a really good sense of humor, and the other one is that I'm assertive. Now, when I
mm,
looked at him, it was easy to see he has a good sense of humor, but I didn't really see this assertiveness. And I asked him, do you think it comes across? And then he said,
mhm,
you know what? You're right. I know assertiveness is a strength of mine, but I
mm,
just don't bring it out there.
mm,
And then we started discussing, how can you bring it more out there? How can you be aware to share your
mhm,
assertiveness in the right moments?
mhm,
So my tip is to be aware, understand what do you want to convey, messages,
mhm,
values, strength, and then try to think how you can actually convey it. And
mhm,
again, in my book, I have a whole chapter of one of the pillars
mhm,
on personal branding, and it
mhm,
really takes you through this process to
mhm,
support in understanding how to do this process,
mhm.
and then how to communicate my true strength.
Okay, thank you. Now,
Mhm.
and this question is again coming from a dominated situation of AI. So how someone can bring authenticity where every second message nowadays, even or she is, they're writing by themselves, but there's a general perception is becoming that okay, it's written by large language model, it's written by ChatGPT or something else. So how they can bring authenticity?
I love this question, and it's a very tough one because, AI actually creates a new standards, and the
Right.
new standards is being great. We all
Mm-hmm.
great writers. We don't have mistakes. We all,
Mm-hmm.
everything is neat. And when
Mm-hmm.
something is too perfect, you say, okay, wait, maybe it's not the person.
Mm-hmm.
However, I mean, we always strive to be perfect or to be neat, but now it's really, as you said, takes away who we are, our personality. Then I'm not suggesting to make mistakes just because you don't want to look like AI,
Right.
but I suggest to, first of all, again, rethink what is your style? Do you have a certain words that are yours to bring your authenticity? Sometimes people can do it through, I mean, or ways of saying things or your own
Mm-hmm.
jokes. Don't
Mm-hmm.
let the AI wipe them out. So use your words and jokes. Many times when you write, even post,
Mm-hmm.
try to make a certain structure. Sometimes people actually make the line structure or, again, the wording structure in a certain way that is unique to them.
Hmm.
Just could be, even if it's an AI generated, you can have a branded images with a certain color or a certain element.
Mm-hmm.
Because whenever I scroll, even if I don't read it, I
Mm-hmm.
know it's you. You know those people
Hmm.
that you scroll and you already remember their style. And maybe one of the most important tips I could give you is really try to write your own text
Mm-hmm.
as much as you can and then share it with the chat
Hmm.
because you don't want to lose this ability to write in an authentic way. So
Okay.
write it and then tell it, okay, now you can minor edit it, but
Mm-hmm.
make sure to keep that. And maybe one more tip is try to pour emotion in any
Hmm.
posts or in any communication. Because
Mm-hmm.
emotion, again, the LLMs are not able to replace it yet.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Mm.
So maybe another challenge which I personally face it, and even I think some others must be facing it. There's a thin line between promoting yourself and then talking too much about yourself. So, what are your suggestions for that? Where it should not look like that. Oh, you're bragging about yourself,
Hi, Kashif. I love this question because, as we said earlier, we're not being taught how to build relationship.
right?
Also, not being taught how to um, share what we did in the right manner. And most of us, again, if I work with a team, whether it's in a corporate or in a startup, I'm a part of a team. How can I put myself in a place that is better than my colleague, which we did things together? And if I'm bragging too much, then maybe I will get the reputation that I don't want to get. And the way to do it is actually, instead of bragging, instead of saying, I am the best there is in personal branding, which I'm sure there are people who are much better than me, is about sharing. Instead of sharing those big statements, you should share facts, data, and actions. And you should share it in the right manner, in the right authentic way. So instead of saying, I am the best there is in personal brand, I can tell you, I work with this manager, and since starting 2 months from starting working with her, she got an invitation to speak in a big conference because of the post that we actually created for her. That's another way to say that I'm good at what I'm doing, right? And also in the company, if you have solved a certain problem, then you can say, we encountered a certain problem. Then I remember that a certain tool I used to work in the past, and I suggested to use it. And based on this suggestion, we were able to solve the problem. So you talk about me and about we. So incorporate facts because you did find the solution, data, numbers, 20%, 3 times more, and so on, actions that you took. And when you say it, make sure you say it in the most authentic and connected way to yourself and not in like a bragging tone.
Okay. So now maybe people start thinking that all the knowledge is available via the chat GPTs, right? And including whatever we are talking about now. All these recipes, secrets are there. And you're working from last 15, 20 years. So have you seen any change from last 2 years after that these chat GPTs and all that? Have you seen any change in your business model or in your workshops? How people are asking you questions? So what is the impact on you?
Okay, I love this question. So, when the world is changed, you need to change with it, right? So that's why I use prompts, and I have my own AI agent, and my book and all my talks and my knowledge is a part of this agent. I'm happy to share the link with you so people could use it. And basically, this agent help people to get into my brain and ask them questions about business relationships. So I use a chat. Again, I use this this agent, and I use different prompts in order to help people make faster results. So for example, if in the past, I used to tell people, hey, this is my structure for writing a message that get people to answer you. Last week, I gave a talk at Meta, Facebook, AI accelerator, startups that are in Facebook's program. And instead of telling them, hey, this is the formula, hey, this is a prompt, just put the person's LinkedIn link, answer a few short questions, and use this prompt, and voila, you have the message ready for you. So I'm advancing as much as I can with the advancement of technology. I do believe there are a lot of answers out there today, but we still need someone who will tell us, Kashif, this is the way to do it. I think as human being, we still need this person to guide us because it's still more trusted if ChatGPT tells you go and do this. Even though we do listen to the chat, but I still believe that in some way, some things we still need a person to tell us rather than a machine.
Okay. Before we conclude for today, maybe last couple of questions. So what's the best secret which Lirone can share for connecting with people?
The best secret. Are we
Yeah,
recording or not?
I think so. That needs to go out.
The best secret. Well, the first one is really about the mindset. Many of us come with the mindset of, again, either they won't like me or they won't answer me. And my secret, and I think what always helped me was my mindset was, why should they not want to help me? Why would they not want to help me? I moved by myself to Sydney, Australia, and maybe that's another secret. So first of all, it's the mindset, like come with an approach that most people probably going to help me or want to connect with me, and which is actually in my world is true. But I moved to Sydney, Australia by myself. I knew only three people. And since I was a radio presenter when I was younger, I was introduced to a radio station in Sydney in Bondi Beach, and my English was really, really bad. And the radio manager told me a sentence I will never forget, and it's also in the book. He told me, "You know something? Your English sucks, but I like your vibes and I'm going to give you a show." Now, Kashif, I got a radio show in Australia, in Sydney, with really, really bad English. I laughed at myself saying, "Oh my God, I don't know what I just said now. It was so incorrect."
Mhm.
But what he said stayed with me because he said, "I like
Uh,
your energy."
the
And energy is everything. Energy can overcome even language barrier in a radio show,
Mm,
apparently. So, and again, not everybody is happy, happy, joy, joy, and have a very high
right.
energy. And you don't need to have a very high energy. You need to have your energy, whether it's an introverted energy, ambivert, whether today you feel high and tomorrow you feel low. Bring your energy in to everywhere, and the right people will get attracted to you.
All right. Okay, so how this energy can be put for to maintaining a relationship with could be client, customer. That
Comes
must be
back
the last
to
question for today.
that comes back to the authenticity. So, today we want, especially if we maintain relationship, we met someone once or twice, we want to sound different than the pack, right? And the way to sound different than the pack is really to find our own authenticity or our jokes or our way to sound different. But it's also about how we make other people feel. We talked a lot about feeling. So if I want to maintain relationship, I would Google the person. Like right now, I came back from Vietnam. That's a great example. I have a lot of business cards here that I need to get back to them. And some of them I already been in touch with, but let's say if it's a second or third encounter, then I Google them or I try to remember something we talked about and I either compliment them, like professionally and specifically, like I really enjoyed our conversation on how to invest in Vietnamese startups these days and age. Thank you so much. Or X told me such a great thing about you. So give them a very genuine compliment. That's one. And second is, use your word. Like don't use, hi, I hope this email finds you well. No, come on, everybody uses it. Try to use something else. Like, for example, now in Vietnam is the National Day. So I'm sending everybody, hi, happy National Day of Vietnam.
Mm, mhm.
So try to
Right.
Google, make a little research, try to see how
Research.
you can sound different from the rest, either if some event that has happened or you share, or with your words. Just be creative.
All right.
And then that's how you will stand out as well
Yeah.
and connect with people better.
Thank you so much, Leron, for joining us. So maybe someone want to reach out to you. So what is the best medium?
Well, basically, I'm everywhere. I'm on LinkedIn, Lirone Glikman, on Instagram, YouTube. My website is lironeglikman.com. My book, The Super Connectors Playbook, is on Amazon, also on my website and on Amazon. We have an audiobook, an ebook, and a soft cover. And I'm usually as responsive as I can. So I invite you all to connect with me, and it would be my honor to try and as my best to support.
Thank you so much for spending time. Thank you so much. Really appreciate.
Thank you, Kashi, for giving me and so many people this stage. I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.